When we're discussing whether a fighter is better than someone else, we're always looking at these physical attributes, how strong they are, their cardio, the abilities they have. Do they have jiu-jitsu? Do they have a submission threat? Do they have power in their hands? Do they have kicks? Do they have elbows? Which is fine on its own, right? But I think what we often overlook is the intelligence of these fighters within the cage. And that's the purpose of this video. We're going to go over the UFC roster and we're going to do a ranking of these fighters based upon their IQ within the cage. So, starting off, we've got Adesanya, who I'm going to put right into the A tier, in spite of the fact that he got knocked out by Imavov. That first round by him was really good. I actually thought if anyone was going to get a knockout, it would be Adesanya against Imavov. He was active on the feet. He was landing effectively against Imavov. It was just a chin issue. He didn't see the shot coming. He got caught. In another universe, that potentially doesn't happen. I think it's a bit of an age issue. He slowed down a little bit, but his skill set is still there. His intelligence is still there. I think he's an A-tier fighter. He took Bahia down in the first fight within the UFC. That was smart decision making as well by him, despite him getting caught later on in the fight. Next up, we got Magomed Ankalaev. I'm inclined to put him in A tier, but I think I'm going to put him in B for now, just because I'm not seeing him intelligently deal with certain aspects of the game, such as leg kicks, right? I mean, against Blachowicz, he was just taking those leg kicks big time. He dealt with them. He dealt with them acceptably against Bahia, but I need to see some consistency from him in that sense. He also has a tendency to be not very active within the cage. Is that to do with the fact that he can't make decisions that frequently within the cage? That's what I'm, guessing for now, but B tier for now. Bilal Muhammad, I'm gonna stick him in. It's hard not to put him in A tier. I think he's just exceeded everyone's expectations, and I think it's because he is a relatively intelligent fighter. I think people just look at the aesthetics of how he fights and discredit him, but if you actually look at how he fights within the cage, he uses his skill set effectively to win fights, and he's been winning. So I'll put him in A tier for now. Tim Elliott, obviously not highly ranked. I don't think he's even ranked anymore, is he? At 125. But he uses certain parts of the game to his advantage. I'm mainly referring to his ability of cheating. He knows how to grab the gloves, hook the gloves without the ref looking, and it works out in his favor. So fair play to Tim Elliott. Next up, we have Yuri Prohashka. Now, I can't put Yuri. Here's the thing: he's got power, and he's explosive, and he wins fights. He just knocked out Jamal Hill. He dealt with Rakic, but that doesn't mean he's an intelligent fighter. He is a bit smarter now, but that's just a recent improvement in his game. I'll put him at the top of C tier for now. He's just a bit too reckless at times. He's like Tony Ferguson. That's not fighting intelligently. He has to be in C tier for now. And I think in comparison to Ankalaev, I don't think you can put him in the same tier as Ankalaev. John Bone Jones, I'm going to put him straight away in S tier. I think there was, I think one of his, I don't know who it was. I think it might be one of his coaches who said that John Jones is one of those fighters who's very, very coachable, who can adapt their game plan on the fly. A lot of fighters can't do that. If you look at someone like Leon Edwards, they'll just break and cave. But someone like John Jones is able to adapt on the fly, and he's very coachable. And so for that reason, he's going to be an S tier. in his match against Dominic Reyes, which I do believe he lost, but fair enough. On paper, he won. He showed his ability to kind of mix it up and kind of bring in the wrestling when he needed to in order to score those rounds. Uh, he has to be an ST, one of the best. And the fact that he's been performing at that level for so long, you can't deny him from being an ST. He's a very intelligent fighter. He doesn't just go out there and throw tactics and strategy out the window. He very much makes that a focus of his game when in the cage. Next up, we got Marab. I'm actually not going to. So, because Marab is a champ, I feel like you have to kind of put him at least somewhat high up on the ranking. I feel like putting him in C tier just wouldn't make any sense at all. But I'll put him at B tier. But Marab isn't, compared to some of the other champs, he's not particularly um, intelligent. I think he just abuses the hell out of his infinite cardio glitch that he's got and his broken gas tank that he has, and he just abuses it and just is able to outpace all of his opponents pretty much without fail. And I think that's pretty much the reason why he wins fights. I mean, listen, maybe he is a smart fighter, but I mean, this is the same guy that's diving headfirst into blocks of ice. I mean, I don't think you can really put him in. Listen, I feel like Magomed can't be in the same tier as as Marab. I want to put Ankalaev in A. Marab's going to be in B. But then it doesn't make sense for youre to be in C, does it? You know what? I'll put youre in B, but I'm going to put him above Marab. Marab is a low B tier. He just abuses the hell out of his gas tank. Next up, we've got Makachev. Has to be in S tier. In the beginning of his career, wasn't the most intelligent. He had a bad habit of just, it wasn't really a bad habit. He just didn't build the striking pedigree yet. He got knocked out by Adriano Martins as a result of not having a sufficient level of striking ability. But I think now he has a very, very complete game and he uses it effectively. Even against some of the top strikers in the game, he is out striking them on the feet and he brings in the wrestling when he needs to. He mixes it up perfectly. The way he knocked out Volk in their rematch, using the kicks, using the knees. He did the same thing against Oliveira as well. He used the knees in the clinch. He uses that very, very effectively. And I think he knows exactly. He's doing each strike with intention. He knows exactly the purpose behind each of his strikes that he's throwing within the cage. So I'm going to put my S tier as well, along with John Jones. Okay. Next up, Paddy the Baddie. He's fighting, I believe, next weekend actually against Chandler, which is going to be an awesome fight. And Paddy is talented, man. I mean, he's got a submission threat, which is very real. He's got a few submissions under his belt. Submitted Bobby Green in a round. But it's not just about your submission ability. You've got to have a complete game. I'll put him on at a low B tier. I'm gonna put him below Marab actually. He just has a severe habit of just being defensively unaware on the feet, and he's paid for it at times. It's just he's not paid for it with a loss yet, but I think we might be seeing that against Chandler potentially. I would actually still be. I would actually still potentially. I would still pick Paddy in that fight, but man, seeing how he's getting tagged by some of these cans in the lightweight division just is not a good look. I'm gonna put him in low B tier for that. Next up, we have Leon Edwards. Now, here's the thing, right? This ranking, again, it's based upon their intelligence in the cage. I don't think Leon's losses are to do with his intelligence in the game. I think they're just to do with his lack of grit, the lack of kind of that competitive spirit that you need to push through. He just doesn't have that gas tank to deal with pressure. It's just a genetic thing. I feel he just doesn't have it, and that's why he loses his fights. But as far as his IQ goes, he's got one of the best in the game. I mean, you hear some of the people who've trained with him say that he's one of the best in the training room. But obviously, the training room is unlike being in the cage itself. The only reason I'm not putting him in A tier is because why the hell are you shooting against Sean Brady? Why would you ever do that? I think maybe the fatigue, it was only the second or third round, so it couldn't have been a fatigue thing. But I'm going to put him at the top of B tier. He still is an intelligent fighter. If he can set the pace, he's like the best in the one of the best in the world. But if the pace is set for him, he just crumbles. And yeah, that's not necessarily an intelligence thing. So for that, I'm gonna keep him at the top of B tier. Next up, we have Chimaev. Again, I feel like Chimaev is similar to kind of Marab in the sense he kind of just abuses his physical acumen. He has this, pressure that he provides in the first round, second round. He has this power in his hands that he abuses, and he can win fights because of it. But he's not really measured in the in the cage. He almost lost to Usman because he couldn't really pace himself correctly. Apparently, he broke his hand. That might be true. But look at the fight against Burns. He was just exploding his gas tank in the first and second round and almost paid for it in the second and third. Now, I don't think this is. I think the Chimaev that we have today is not the same Chimaev as then. I'll grant that, but I have to look at the career holistically. And holistically, he's been someone who generally abuses his um, his physical traits to win fights. Now, I do think if I compare him to someone like Marab, he shows a bit more intelligence in certain parts of the game, such as the ground. I think he has excellent BJJ, excellent grappling, and he's very smart when it gets to the ground. So maybe B tier is not right. I'll put him at the bottom of A. He's still an intelligent fighter in certain respects of the game, but he needs to be smarter when it comes to his kind of, you know, planning for the whole entirety of the fight. Next up, we have Piotr Yan, who obviously is on a downturn. He's lost a few fights, but then he's won a couple as well. I think recently he won against Figueiredo. It was not where he was a few years ago, but still, he's still one of the most intelligent fighters in the UFC. I would actually say he's more intelligent in the cage than someone like Hamzat Chimaev. And I'm actually even going to put him above Ankalaev. You know what? Even Bilal, I'm going to put him right here. I think he's close to the level of Adesanya, or they're comparable in terms of his fighting intelligence in the cage. He's smart. He knows how to mix it up. Every move that he does in the cage is done with intention. There's no unnecessary, wasteful movement. He's very smart when it comes to the cage. He knows how to use his energy wisely. He just got out gas tanked by Marab. He just got outpaced, and Marab does that to everyone. So it's not really his fault. Um, so let's just do a 1 and 2 more. We've got Tom Aspinall. So we've got one of the big boys. In my eyes, this is the true undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And again, it's hard not to put this guy in S tier. He has to be in S tier. I mean, he has what, the shortest average fight time in the UFC. I'm not sure if it's in the UFC heavyweight division or just the UFC in general. But the point is, this guy is racking up numbers that we've just not seen in recent memory, and he's doing it to really really good guys. The way he submitted Volkov, and Volk isn't exactly in a bad spot right now. He's been winning fights. He's been robbed a couple of times, but he's also been winning fights. And look what he did to Curtis Blades. This guy's been really really impressive. I feel like he's comparable to, like, I think a Makachev, maybe even better than Makachev in terms of his intelligence in the cage. We've just not seen enough of Aspinall to say that, but that would be an awesome fight to see between Aspinall and John Jones. That has to happen. And last up, to close out this video, we got Duplessis again. He's like a Marab. He just abuses his physical attributes. He's got this brutish attitude in the cage. He can just push forward. The guy will be breathing out of his mouth. He'll be a mouth breather, but he'll still be pushing forward, throwing each shot with just complete 100% power. The guy just will never, hold back. He's just completely unrelenting throughout the whole duration of the fight. He's kind of like Marab in that sense. Although I would actually say maybe even a little bit more effective than Marab because he has more power in his hands and he does have that power when it comes to the grappling as well. So I'm going to put him a little bit above. And do you know what? I'm actually going to put him above Yuri. But again, I feel like he just abuses his physical attributes, kind of like how Marab does, and kind of like how Yuri does as well. But we'll see. We'll see how he does against Chimaev. I think that will be the defining moment for him. If he deals with Chimaev handedly, then obviously he's got that mental acumen as well. But let me know if you guys agree with this ranking that I've given. Next week we've got Volkanovski versus Lopez. That's going to be an awesome card. I'm going to make 1 or 2 videos about that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this ranking.